So welcome back to another video on the channel. As you can see, we are in a different location today. I don't know if the house tour or this new place where I'm basically based for the next like 3 weeks, I don't know if the house tour is going to be out first before this video or after, I'm not too sure, but you'll see the inside of this house anyway. Absolutely lovely house. I love the interior of it, just the way it's laid out. It's right on the water on like a lake here. It's a lovely view. Would love to have it the other way so you can actually see the view. However, the exposure just doesn't work. Anyway, you'll see it in the house tour. That'll be, as I say, before or after this video. I think it'll be before. Either way, that's not the topic of this video. In today's video, what I want to go through is iOS 14. I want to do an update of a video that I did. It was in around January of 2021, a few months ago, when iOS 14 first, blew up. Everybody was super scared what they're going to do about their clients. What are they going to do about advertising? Advertising doomed. It's finished. It's over. It was a pretty hectic time. So I did a video really explaining what iOS 14 actually is and a couple ways, that we could have implemented early on, or a couple things that we could have implemented on early on to combat as best we could iOS 14 and its effects. And so what I want to do in this video is to give you a bit more of an update in terms of how results are going right now and kind of, some more deeper combative strategies that we've currently implemented to see the results that we're currently getting. Spoiler alert, we're still getting great results with Facebook advertising. We've still got clients spending over 100,000 a month on advertising, specifically through Facebook and Instagram ads. It still works tremendously well. There's a couple things that you need to do, obviously, to combat it. And that's what I want to go through in this video. Obviously, I'm not going to be showing live client ad accounts. I kind of, I show that type of stuff, more secretive stuff, if you like, inside of Centurion Agency, my high level program. But what I am going to show you in this video is my agency ad account and the new ads that we've recently launched. I want to go through how we're currently tracking it and how Facebook is actually currently tracking the agency's ads to 100% perfection at this point in time. We're still on a low spend. We only launched them, it's like last night at the point of recording this. So it's very early on, but we've got some pretty solid results coming through already. And I want to show you how that is set up and a couple other ideas as well and other things that I've implemented to ensure that we're still maintaining 100% tracking with iOS 14. And as I say, I want to show you the back end of my agency ad account, domains, all that type of stuff. I'm going to go into my ClickFunnels as well and show you how we're tracking each page, what we've put onto each page to ensure we're tracking it correctly, all that type of stuff. So with that being said, let's jump into the video. Now guys, as always, if you do find value in this content, which I know for a fact you are going to find this video valuable, because guess what? Nobody else is going through this type of stuff for free, right? So I know you're gonna find this video valuable. And so all I ask in return is that you go ahead, smash the like button right below this video and subscribe to the channel. Massively helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And in conjunction to smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel, I've launched a new Facebook group for agency owners, coaches, and consultants called 100K per month agency secrets. And you can actually find the direct link to that free Facebook group right below this video. We're out from 0 to 250 members inside of the first 24 hours of it launching. So it's an extremely quick growing group. And so as I say, go ahead, click the link in the description. It's going to take you directly to that Facebook group. And I'm super excited to get you inside. Now, with that being said, let's truly jump into the video. So let's just jump straight into an ad account, right? I don't want to hold you guys for any longer or anything like that. Let's just jump straight into an ad account here. So as I say, you can see here, this is very, very early on, right? Amount spent is $62 overall. So it's very, very early on. We've not even launched all the ads. We've got 2 ads running right now. It's not the full ad strategy. We're still rolling it out, doing new creatives and a bunch of different stuff, new copy, etc. However, I wanted to record this video to show you some early results already. And as I say, this is 100%, this is tracked to 100% perfection so far, right? And we're also seeing great tracking across other client accounts using exactly what I'm about to show you in this video. So first things first, $60 spent, 2 booked calls for obviously an average book call of $32 or $31 per book call. Now, as I say, this is for the agency. This is extremely, extremely high ticket. We bring clients on board for anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 per month billable, right? And we're currently booking in calls for $30, right? And we actually have a call conversion rate of anywhere from 40 to 50%. And that's not including our consulting and downsell offers. Now for consulting and downsell offers, that's something that you don't really need to worry about until you hit around the 10,000 a month mark. Up until you're at 10,000 a month with your agency, you should just really be focusing on just normal done for you clients, right? Just the monthly retainer clients. But obviously, as I say, consulting and downsell offers and whatnot, it's like a detour that we take to get to the main service. And that's again, concepts that we go through in the high level program Centurion Agency. And also running ads, as you're seeing here, is something that I go through in Centurion Agency as well in severe detail, show all the targeting or the structure of how I actually produce these types of book calls. Most agency owners try and run agency ads like this and try, look, by the way, I'm going ahead and update it. I'm not, no fake results or anything like that, right? Most agency owners try and run ads for their own agency, but fail miserably because it's, if you can run ads for your own agency successfully, you can basically get results for any client, because running ads for your agency is the hardest thing you'll do. And also, if you can comfortably pay to acquire a client, this is the other thing, and this is why, again, in Centurion Agency, we go into it in severe detail. I show everything exactly how I book. Usually these are just tremendously effective ads that we've launched initially, but usually our book calls are going to range from $50 to $100 per book call, and the range is going to be further dependent on whether it's cold or retargeting. But in saying that, we can comfortably spend, as I say, $50 to $100 to acquire a book call. Now, we know that our conversion rate ranges from 40 to 50%, excluding consulting and downsell offers. So we know exactly how much we can pay to acquire a client. Now, when you have that level of certainty in your agency, that's when you can scale, because guess what? If you can acquire a client for $500, well, in that instance, just spend $2,000 that month and you're going to acquire 4 new clients, right? You've got that certainty. And again, this is what we go through in Centurion, but you don't want to worry about this until you're at around the 10,000 a month mark with your agency, because as I say, that's how you go from 10,000 a month to 100,000 a month, right? And obviously that's the sole goal of the Centurion Agency program. But if you're going from 0 to 10,000 a month, please do not worry about running ads for your own agency. Just take the tracking ideas and what I'm going through in this video, take those ideas and implement it into your own agency, as well as obviously client accounts. But don't try and run ads for your own agency if you're in the zero to like 8,000 to 10,000 a month range, right? Because you just don't need to. Just focus on your outbound prospecting. Now, back to the video. So as I say, this is tracking 100% perfectly. Now, a couple reasons why, and I want to walk through a couple of the things that I've done to ensure that we're tracking 100% perfectly. So first things first is we need to ensure that your domain is verified. Now, if you have clients, just walk them through how to verify it, but they're actually going to have to go ahead and verify it themselves in their own backend, because they're only going to have, you're not going to have permissions to their name servers, which is how you verify your domain. So you can see here, I've got 2 domains, kaibax.com and baxconsulting.com, and they are both verified. This is absolutely vital to run ads for your own agency or for your clients. You need to make sure that they're verified, that the domain is verified. To do that, you'll just go add, right? Import your domain. So for example, actually I've got another domain, which is bax-consulting.com, right? So then go add domain, and then it's going to instantly say, so when you come into your business settings, brand safety domains, okay, that's how you get here, brand safety, then domains, it's going to say not verified if you've obviously not verified it, right? So what you want to do is, well, what I did, and this is what worked best for me, this is what I do for all clients, this is what I've done for both of my current domains, is I've gone into the DNS verification. It sounds confusing. Please don't worry, it's really not that confusing, right? So you want to go into DNS verification. You want to then go ahead and you want to copy this TXT record that they've given you here, right? Copy that to the clipboard, okay? Then go into your name servers. Then go into your name server, okay? Into your, your DNS configuration as they've said here. This is where it's going to get slightly confusing. Just figure out where your name server is, right? I bought my domain through Enom, right? Well, Bax Consulting I bought through Enom. Now I don't recommend buying through them. I recommend buying your domain through Google Workspace, or formerly known as G Suite, because Google's support for the G Suite side of things is absolutely amazing. So I just recommend you go ahead and buy through there and just keep it all in-house. However, I didn't. That said, doesn't matter. Just figure out where your name server is held, okay? If you don't know where your name servers are, then speak to whoever you bought your domain from. They'll be able to see on their end who your name server is with, okay? I'm with Cloudflare. So what I would do in this instance, and this is what I did, I went into my domain, baxconsulting.com. I then went to DNS, okay, at the top here. As it says in Facebook, right, you need to go to your DNS configuration. So you just come into here, you go into DNS, right, and you just go add record. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure it's a TXT record, as I've stated here. So type, scroll down, TXT, the name, use @ for root, right? So again, as they said here, add an @ in the host field. If your domain host requires it, which in this case they do, so you just literally go @, and then in the content, what you would do is you would go copy this link here, right? And then just go paste, right? Go save. I'm not gonna do it because it's not this actual domain, I've already done it, but go save, okay? And then come back into Facebook, and then make sure you select it, make sure you're still on DNS verification and go verify, okay? If you come back onto meta tag verification, for example, after you paste all of this stuff in here and you go verify, it's not going to work because it's going to try and verify for the meta tag verification, not the DNS verification. This isn't like an overarching verification button, it's a verification button for the respective section that you're on. So if you're on DNS verification, it's gonna verify that. If you're on HTML file upload, it's gonna verify that, okay? That's the first thing that you need to do. That's gonna, as soon as you do that, it's very, very simple. As soon as you do that, it's going to instantly verify your domain, and that is the first step. Now, once you've verified your domain, what you then need to do is you need to go into your ads manager for whatever ad account it is for. And now this is something that you want to be doing for both your agency as well as your clients. You can physically do this. As I said to you before, the domain verification, only your client can do it because they need to go into their Cloudflare account or wherever their name servers are held, you know what I mean? And they need to implement it and paste it all in and whatnot. Now you can show them how to do it to, remove friction. If you can't do something for your clients physically, then the next best thing is to just hold their hand through the entire process, right? However, configuring your events, you can most definitely do for your clients. So what you want to do, go into the ads manager for whatever agency account you want it to be in or whatever client account you want it to be in, and then go into the aggregated events tab and click configure events. I would show you on my screen, but there's a bit of sensitive information on that, so I'm not, but you'll see it very clearly. Aggregated events tab, and then configure web events. As you can see here, web event configurations. And what now you're going to be able to do is come into your domain. Now, you'll see here as well that it says domain is verified. If it's not verified, then I believe you won't be able to configure your events. So you need to make sure your domain's verified. That's why we went through that first. So essentially for my agency, here's how I have got my events configured. Obviously on the left here, you've got highest priority down to the lowest priority. So at the top, I've got schedule. That's the highest priority. That's kind of like the purchase in the agency world. Oh, sorry, for clients, right? You always want to optimize for purchase. That's what you care about most. In this case, you always want to optimize for schedule. That's what you care about most, right? So I've got schedules at the top, then I've got start trial, okay? Then I've got lead, then I've got view content, I've got initiate checkout, and I've got add to cart, okay? Now I'm gonna show you how this plays out in the actual funnel, what schedule is, what a start trial is, what a lead is, what a view content is, etc., etc. However, just know that that's how I have configured my events for my agency. And then on the education side, which is my kaibax.com domain, well, in this case, I've got schedule, I've got purchase, start trial, lead, initiate checkout, view content, complete registration, and submit application. Now for clients, it's gonna be slightly different. Obviously with clients, you want to make sure that you're always prioritizing the 4 purchase events, which is purchases, which is purchase conversion, purchase ROAS. I forget what the 4th one is, but there's basically 4 purchase events. You wanna make sure that they're the 4 top priority, then just go down the list, right? Then go to initiate checkout, add to cart, view content, page view, etc. until you hit your 8. You can only do 8 events, but you can see here, sometimes I don't even use all the 8, right? I'm only using 6 here. In this case, I am using the 8. So that's that. Get the events configured in the priority that you think is most important. In my case, if you have an agency, this is by far the most important, okay? Now, let's have a look at what a schedule actually is, what a start trial actually is, what a lead is, what a view content is, etc. So this is my funnel, okay? So if we actually go to baxconsulting.com here, obviously you can see my agency funnel. Now, again, if you're inside of the Centurion agency program, obviously all of this is plug and play. You don't have to worry about building anything out. You don't have to worry about building any of this out or anything like that. It's all plug and play. All of the email automations in the back end, all of the Zapier integrations, I just give everything away inside of Centurion. So don't worry if you're inside of there. But if you're not, basically this is my agency funnel. And if we come through here, you'll be able to see the VSL, the main VSL page. Now, currently we're actually running, as you can, so this is like obviously on the front end, this is like public, but this is inside of ClickFunnels in the actual builder in the back end. And you can see here, this is a different layout, right? Basically what we're doing with the new agency ads, we're just testing a new landing page, right? We're doing a new variation of the VSL. And basically that's something that as well is tremendously important. One idea that I keep pushing in my high level program is You never want to get married to a piece of content that you create. So for example, if you spend, a week, 2 weeks, 1 month building a piece of content for your agency, but it just doesn't seem to be hitting, it doesn't resonate, it doesn't produce good book calls like you've seen before, your book calls are maybe whatever, $500, for example, for one book call, it's not the best numbers. And so what you want to do is you do not want to get married to that piece of content and think, no, it's going to work, it's going to work, it's going to work, when actually the data shows you very evidently that it's not working. You need to change it, right? And it's not that this VSL didn't work, by no means, but just overall, I'm always optimizing, iterating and whatnot. And that's another reason why, again, in the Centurion program, I always go through frameworks so that you do have the ability to spin up new iterations and whatnot. It's not a word for word script, because if it's a word for word script or whatever it may be, then you're going to be very strict on that word for word script because you don't know anything else. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be like 100% on that script, nothing else, because you don't know anything else, whereas when you've got the framework, you can restructure the framework, you can apply the framework to different business models, different ideas, different bold claims, different headline. It's very, very effective when you understand the frameworks rather than the word for word script. Okay, so for example, as I say, again, this is just a new VSL that I've spun up, and this is what we're running ads to right now, is this variation. Now what I specifically want to go through is, as you can see in the actual ads themselves, you can see here that the results, this obviously means what you're optimizing for. You can see here that I'm optimizing for a website schedule, okay? But you can also see that I've got a column here called trials started, and I've got cost per trial started, and I've got cost per result, right? And obviously further back, you can see here, right? Cost per click, trial started, cost per trial started, then we've got website schedule. Now, basically, if we go back into this funnel here, you can see that in the tracking code of this page specifically, you can see that we have this script from the Facebook pixel. And this script, what this script means is that this event, whatever's inside of this event, okay, is going to fire when somebody lands on this specific page. So when somebody lands on this specific page, right, if we actually go to preview and we go to the actual page on the front end, when somebody lands on this front page here, this script, whatever is in the tracking code section, if you paste in this script here, whatever name is in here, that's the event that's going to fire in the back end. Okay, so now what that obviously means is when somebody clicks the ad, they come straight to this page, which means the view content, because that's the script on this page, the view content event is going to fire. So that means that I know that somebody's clicked through and they've viewed content. Now, one thing that you want to ensure that you're doing is ensuring that your number of clicks matches however many view contents in this case that you get on that specific ad. The reason being is because if you get 100 clicks but only 50 view contents, well, that means that your page is taking probably in the biggest reason as to why there'll be 50% drop off in that instance is because your page is taking way too long to load. You want it to be as close as possible, 100 clicks, 100 view contents. Right? Because obviously the click is tracked on the front end of the ad. So Facebook is 100% accurate with the clicks because nothing's external. That's on their own site. Now, view content is external. So there's almost like a gap between the click and the view content. And that is the page loading and them actually visiting the page so that view content script fires, right? I hope that makes sense. So that's what I've got on the landing page. Now, the next page from here is obviously everything on this page is pretty much tailored around and optimized around getting the prospect to click let's chat, right? You can see here, let's chat. There's no other button on this page. If we go here, there's no other button on this page, right? For example, my logo doesn't take you anywhere. The only other button on this page, apart from exiting out the page, is this let's chat button. And this let's chat button takes the prospect to my booking page. And so this is where my calendar is obviously hosted, okay? And they can go ahead and book in a call. Now, inside of ClickFunnels, that is obviously this page, and it's just a very simple custom JavaScript HTML. It's just a custom HTML that I've just embedded onto here, which is my calendar, my Calendly link, right? And again, if you're inside Centurion, all of this is plug and play inside the program, so don't worry. Now, in the settings section of this specific page, tracking code, well, what I've got in here is start trial. So basically now when somebody lands on this booking page, right, that means that the start trial event inside of Facebook is going to fire, right? So again, that then shows you kind of the conversion rate of this page to the click. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So the conversion rate is obviously number of people who actually land on the page, which is your view content, and then the number of people who click let's chat. Well, that then means that they instantly get turned into a start trial. So if you have if you have 100 view contents and you have 50 start start trials, well then in that instance, that means that your landing page, which is this page, for example, is converting at 50%. But obviously that doesn't mean to say that they're actually booking in a call. That just means that they're landing on this page. Now, the final step is the thank you funnel, right? So this is the thank you funnel. And again, on this page, we have the Pixel event schedule, because obviously this is the page that prospects get redirected to right after they've booked in a call. So now I know that everybody who lands on this page, whenever this page fires, it means that somebody's booked in a call, because the only way that they can get to this page is by booking in a call here, at which point they get redirected to this page. So I know that they're a schedule. Okay, so going back to the ad account, that is how, and obviously in ClickFunnels, this is, by the way, jumping ahead a little bit, in this case, this is all at the page level, but obviously overall funnel wide, I have my entire pixel pasted into the funnel wide header section. And obviously to get to that point, you just come into here, you go settings, and then you go down here, okay, and you can see that I've got my actual entire Facebook pixel code pasted into the head tracking code. And then I also obviously have my specific events on the specific pages, depending on whatever it may be. And that's what I've just walked through there. So then at that point, that is how we are currently tracking with 100% accuracy right now. Okay, and look, there you go. You can see that this is actual numbers, because the cost per result has just increased to $14, okay? But you get the point. And that's how we are currently tracking to 100% affection, as I mentioned. So you can see that, like, yes, there's a couple new things that you need to do. The aggregated events tab, you need to make sure your pixel's set up correctly and your tracking's all right and all that type of stuff. There's a couple things that you need to do for sure, but it's not the end of the world, okay? And the other thing is that, and I'm talking about obviously iOS 14 specifically here, because I know there was a time where everybody was like, oh my God, I'm never running ads again. Like, ads are finished. You know, Mark Zuckerberg is doomed. Like, Facebook's no longer a thing. Last year, I believe Facebook, 97% of their revenue came from ads. So if ad revenue is no longer there because no one's running ads on their platform, Facebook is no longer a business. They're going to be, they're going to go bankrupt, and that's it. Facebook's going to be no longer, okay? So that's what everybody was thinking at one point. But you can just see with some very, very simple, just some very, as I say, very, very simple combative strategies, you can still run ads effectively. We've still got 100% tracking right now, right? With our ads, 100% tracking, and that's just on one ad account. I've got another ad account for the education side. And we've got actually another agency ad account as well, where actually this morning we launched a bunch of new ads, and they're still in review and whatnot, but I'm more than happy to keep you guys updated if you're, wanting another updated video on iOS 14 in a couple months here. But you can see, as I say, we're still tracking with a 100% accuracy. And the other thing, the biggest reason as to why we're still able to deliver results for our clients, as I say, we have clients where we're spending like $100,000 a month in ad spend. That's not purchase conversion value, that's in ad spend, right? Big clients, and we're still running ads very, very successfully for those clients. As you've seen there, we're still running ads for the agency extremely successfully. Why? Because we are good at fundamental advertising. See, there's a lot of media buyers and advertisers and agencies out there who only rely on data. And now that, obviously, this is the early stages of iOS 14. Over the next few months, iOS 14 is going to roll out, and tracking will get hampered in the traditional means of tracking, just looking at Facebook Ads Manager. There will be a point where that is, going to be no longer. And again, if you're in any of the programs, you guys are going to get updated first and foremost with, exactly what we're doing to combat it and all that type of stuff. However, these advertisers out there, as I say, who solely rely on metrics, they're not good advertisers. They just look at data, right? That's all they do, but they can't actually advertise. And those advertisers are going to get extinct. They're going to become extinct, right? Because they're going to essentially be blind at that point. They're not going to be able to see anything because they used to look at all the data, but in a couple months, there's going to be no data there, or there's going to be inaccurate data there. Yes, Facebook are looking at doing some modeling stuff, but overall, it's not going to be 100%. So those advertisers are going to get extinct because, as I say, they're going to be blind. They can't see anything because there's no data there. And so as always, good advertising is going to prevail. I can guarantee you. Good advertising, good creatives, good copywriting, good offers, having an offer that people actually want, okay? These things are going to prevail. However, doing this secret CBO scaling strategy with like whatever the ridiculous stuff is out there today, that stuff's no longer gonna work. It's just not. Okay, so that was kind of one overarching idea that I just really wanted to make sure that you guys understood, because that's always going to prevail. No matter what platform it's on, good advertising is always going to prevail. Now, let me finish up this video with 6 final points here. I put this together last night just so you guys know overall exactly what to do to ensure that you're continuing to combat iOS 14. So number 1 is ensure that your tracking is set up correctly as I went through in this video, okay? If it's for clients, just make sure it's obviously correct for their respective business. In this instance, you know, I showed you the agency structure. We're optimizing for schedule. We've got start trials, but obviously for maybe you're in the e-commerce niche with your agency and it's gonna be purchases, add to carts, initiate checkouts, etc. Maybe you're in local lead gen and it's gonna be just, you know, straight up leads, right? Maybe that's kind of like the only thing that you care about. Obviously, if you're in local lead gen, it is only going to be leads, right? So just make sure that your tracking is set up correctly in respect to whatever the brand is or the businesses that you're working with, whether it's your own agency, an e-com client, a lead gen client, an info product client. Obviously, in that instance, it's going to be very heavy on complete registrations, start trials, etc., submit applications, all that type of stuff, right? Same thing with point 2 here, okay? And this is just making sure that you configure your 8 events and you obviously set them up in the respective priority. Next is verify your domain, as I showed you in this video. And again, these 3 things are literally the basis of this entire video, so you guys know exactly how to do that. Just make sure you're implemented on it, right? Number 4 is start being creative with your landers, okay? So for example, you can have a specific lander for specific ads, okay? So number 4 here is just start being creative with your landers, right? And your offers, as I've got down here. So for example, you can have a specific landing pages for specific ads, right? You can have a Facebook lander, a YouTube lander, an Instagram lander, etc. And then you can just do some simple math. Yeah, it's a little bit more manual than, you know, normal, right, running ads, but if you get correct tracking at the end of it, then it's worth it, right? If you have, you know, through this specific lander, there's been $1,000 generated, and you know that specific lander is only being run with ads that are on the Facebook placement, well, then you know that, you know, however much ad spend was spent on the Facebook placement, that's your ROAS, right? If you spend $200 on the Facebook placement and that Facebook lander has generated $1,000, well, that's 5 ROAS, right? You know these numbers very, very easily. You just need to make sure that, you know, in this instance, you go around it in a bit of a different way. Same thing with YouTube, same thing with Instagram, okay? And you can also do the same with offers and offer codes, okay? So you could have an Instagram offer code, right? So maybe it's IG30 for 30% off, for example. And that IG30 code is only being run to Instagram traffic. So then you know, obviously, however much has been generated by virtue of IG30, right? That's your revenue, and however much has been spent on Instagram placement, that is your ad spend. There's your ROAS, okay? There's your return, your ROI, okay? Number 5 is use UTMs, okay? Everyone is routinely looking for new, you know, crazy, ridiculous ways to track, but UTMs, although they're old, okay, are still tremendously powerful, especially if you're using something like ClickFunnels, as you can actually search by UTM and it will show you all the purchases, all but calls that have been generated with that search UTM. So for example, in your UTM, in the source section, if you have Facebook, okay, you can then go into ClickFunnels, for example, and search, go into the stats section, then go, I think it's like apply filter. And then when you hit apply filter, it's going to give you a drop down. It's going to give you like UTM content. It's going to give you UTM campaign, source, medium, etc. You can just search in one of those, whatever term it is that you're actually leveraging in your ads. For example, if you're only using UTMs with the source Facebook, okay, you can then go into ClickFunnels, search by source Facebook, and then everything that's been generated by virtue of the UTM that houses the source Facebook is going to show up. So if your entire ad account is being run with that one source, well then okay, how much has the ad account spent in the last 30 days? $10,000. Okay, how much has been generated in ClickFunnels by searching with the source Facebook? $30,000. Okay, cool. We know that we're running at a 3x ROAS, and with 100% certainty in that instance, okay? Same thing with Shopify and the conversion summary on each order, okay? You can see all the way back, like myself and my team was looking at a couple client orders the other day, and we was tracking back all the way to like 6 weeks ago to when that specific customer had their first interaction with that respective client's website. And we actually seen that it was through one of our ads, right? That they first came to the website by virtue of one of our ads. We could see by UTMs because we was using the UTMs. And then they didn't purchase for 6 weeks. I think they had like 19 visits to the website, something ridiculous in the space of the 6 weeks. And then, like, as I say, it was like 3 days ago, something like that, they finally bought, and then we was able to see which retargeting ad actually got the purchase. Very, very detailed. And that's one as close as to 100% accuracy in tracking as you're gonna get. And that's, as I say, all done by UTMs. Now, obviously, Quantum Leap Ecom Agency and Centauri members, check out the custom UTM tracking video that I created inside the program, as that's exactly what we use to, as I say, go ahead and do those things that I just talked about there inside of ClickFunnels, Shopify, etc. Okay, it's in the custom UTM tracking video. Now, number 6, final thing, as I was saying before, just become a good advertiser, okay? As long as you can craft compelling advertisements, you put those advertisements in front of the specific audience for which they were created, and you provide an irresistible offer, guess what? iOS 14 is no longer going to be an issue. That's all it comes down to, guys. Creating good ads, putting it in front of the person which that ad was created for, and provide an irresistible offer, provide a ridiculous reason for them to buy, and almost like make them feel stupid to not buy. That's how powerful your offer is. At that point, you're gonna have no issues with iOS 14. So overall, guys, I deeply hope that you found value in this video. As always, if you did, please go ahead, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and in the description of this video, you are going to see a link to a free Facebook group called 100K per month agency secrets. It's a Facebook group that I created, as I mentioned before, for agency owners, course creators, consultants, and coaches, okay, that basically helps you ramp to 100,000 per month with your business. It's completely for free, and it's growing at a ridiculous rate. So I implore you to go ahead and join. There's a bunch of content in there that you will never see anywhere else, okay? You're not gonna see it on YouTube, you're not gonna see it on my Instagram or anywhere else apart from inside that Facebook group. You know, there's like live Q&As in there with myself personally where you can actually hop on and ask me any, you know, questions or problems, whatever it may be. As I say, there's specific content that I create for that group solely. You can ask me questions directly. You can speak to my student success manager for the Quantum Lead Ecom Agency program. It's just a bunch of stuff, right? If you're an agency owner or a coach or a consultant, it is irresponsible of you if you don't join. That might be a little bit hectic. You'll be able to find the link in the description below. And with that being said, I deeply hope you found value in this video. And with that being said, as always, I deeply hope you found value in this video, and I will see you in the next one.